Hello YouTube, this is the Dbtgamer Show, episode 164, and you may be wondering where in the hell is the Spyro review? Well, the Spyro review is being delayed, and today I'm going to do Final Fantasy X, Part 1 instead.
Basically, we're doing the Spyro review later this week. Well, I'm not doing it, he is. We're basically doing the Final Fantasy X review today because, well, I'm here, I've got my memory cards, and frankly, well, we're ready to do it, so yeah.
Yeah. So, now where's that airship?
Damn, I knew I forgot to bring something.
Right, YouTube, we've got the game loaded up, so let's start this review. Adam, would you like to take care of the story? Because my recommendation on this story, mine's very basic. You probably know more about this game than I do, because I haven't finished it yet. I'm on the final dungeon.
He hasn't finished it yet.
I didn't finish Final Fantasy VIII when I reviewed it, but I had a good idea of it, and I still did a good review. So I can still do this one.
That's up for debate. Well, story. You play as Titus, a world-renowned blitzball player. Don't ask. We'll talk about that later.
Yes, blitzball.
Who one day gets sucked into the realm of Spira. And, well, it's basically just him trying to find a way home, trying to find out about his father, who apparently came here 10 years before. He falls in love with a warrior summoner called Yuna, and...
I wouldn't call Yuna a warrior. I call her a summoner, I call her a white mage, I call her sexy, but I wouldn't call her a warrior.
Actually, in this game, I never really saw Yuna as sexy.
No,
okay, she's cute and all,
but... the three girls, I think I'd go out with her. Why? Because she's... I like her better than all the ones. Anyway, let's keep going.
I'm not going to go into that. In one way or another, she can be the strongest member of your party because she summons aeons, which pretty much decimate anything in front of them.
Right. Next up, the graphics. Well, I thought the graphics of the game were pretty good. It's got some very good 3D, although the camera isn't posable, so you can't tilt it. So you've got a similar to problem what you had in Final Fantasy 9, 8, and 7. But it's not as bad because the camera sort of zooms in a little bit.
Well, the camera moves depending on where you are. It tries to keep you in the centre and tries to make you see pretty much all of the field that you're in. If memory serves, you do have a little radar somewhere. We've got to find it now. You're in the options screen, if anyway. Never mind. You do have a little radar, we just can't find it.
One thing I did like was the FMV cutscenes. They were pretty good.
FMV cutscenes, they were sort of...
Although there was one weird thing about them. When I started into cutscenes, Yuna's hair seemed to spontaneously change colour.
From what to what?
Well,
she's brown hair.
In the game, she's brown, but in the FMV cutscenes, she can be even grey, like an old granny.
I think that's... yeah, I see what you mean.
But the cutscenes are good.
They're just sort of high definition of the same colour, really.
Yeah. Controls, very good. Apart from the fact that you can't move the camera around, the next are perfect for me.
Well, controls are pretty much the same for any Final Fantasy game of this era. The 7, 8, 9 and 10 era are pretty much all the same. You move around using the direction buttons or analog stick. X is... will accept or talk or examine or whatever the hell you need it for. Triangle goes into your menu and then it's pretty much straightforward from there. Circle to come out the menu, square does
the music
piss all.
The music for the game, I think it's okay. There's a few good tracks, but none of them are as good as some of the previous games.
I thought the music was pretty good. I don't think, if memory serves, it's not Nobuo Uematsu that does this. But, I could be wrong. I usually am. But I'd actually like the music on this.
Gameplay for the game.
Listen.
Gameplay for the game. It's a 3D RPG. The only problem with this game is, it's as linear as hell. I mean, I've played some really easy RPGs in my time. Example, the Mario and Luigi series. They're very linear because the game basically gives you a map and it gives you a red dot. You've got to go to each red dot to beat the game. The only That's what I call linear. This game basically gives you the corridor, you walk down it, and you just keep doing that for the rest of the game. It's even more linear than that.
Actually, I beg to differ. This game does have some
branching paths.
Some branching paths.
Which most time leads to a treasure chest.
Yeah. But yeah, I see what you mean. Most of the game is just one long corridor. I think Final Fantasy 13 suffers from exactly the same thing. But we'll bitch about that some other time.
I haven't even played 13 yet. Well, I played it for like an hour at Adam's house, but that's it.
I have played it, and
okay. Well, since we're in the forest, let's talk about battles. I think the battle system is very good. Although I have one complaint with it. We have this stupid bullshit where you can't cast spells on all enemies unless you have your limit break working. So you can't cast heal on all your party members, you can't cast thunder on all the enemies, it's annoying.
I'd have to get back to you on that, because I'm pretty sure I remember doing spells on all the enemies at some point, but I honestly couldn't tell you. It's been a very long time since I played this.
Well,
I must admit, I'm not entirely keen on... If you've noticed, I'm not actually doing anything right now, and the battle is just, stopped. What basically happens is you'll see that pink bar on the top right hand side of the screen. That is a list of the characters and which order they play in.
You can cast magic on all characters if you manage to unlock dual cast, which lets you cast multiple spells at once, but that's the only way I've found out to do it. Okay, back to your bit.
And spells like Ultima and, I believe, Holy attack all the enemies anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway. Yeah, they've done away with the ATB system, which they've had in the last couple of games.
The active time battle system, where each enemy had a speed so they could attack at any time they want in the game unless you press the pause button.
Yeah, and depending on the speed of your character, the quicker that bar filled up. That's basically the idea. In this game, the higher your speed, the more images of your face you have on the top right-hand little bar. As you can see, Whacker is at the top, so if I attack, it'll be Whacker that does it. And nothing else happens until Riku, who's the next one down, does her little move. And you just keep going on like that and play as and when your turn arises.
Okay, good stuff about this game. Well, the story is good, although for me it just boils down to a group of guys trying to beat Godzilla.
I must admit, the story wasn't exactly as epic as the Final Fantasy was.
You know, the game tries to make out this is one epic story, but it really isn't. Cutscenes of the game, I like them a lot.
I thought we've already done the cutscenes.
I know. I'm talking about my good stuff. Gameplay. Apart from it being really linear, it's alright. Okay. Characters! The characters in the game, well... Adam, once this battle's over, can we go to the pause screen? I can talk about each one individually, because I have a lot to say, and I bet you do too.
In fact, I should be able to go to the status menu and bring up each character in turn, so we'll do that.
That's what I meant.
Okay, and status. The main character, Titus. Of some reason I've named him Ashura, which I believe is some kind of Muslim holiday. Anyway. Go on, you go first.
Alright, I'll start with Titus. Titus, well, he's a whiny, blonde-haired, rejected cunt discharge of a man who will never live up to his father in any other way. He's a blitzball player. Yes, he's a good one, but he's a whiner. He whines more than a 5-year-old who's missed his mum for 5 years. Although he has some decent spells, he does learn the speed spells like haste, slow arger, haste dagger, stop.
And also he has flee, which can be actually a godsend in some places.
If you want to get out and but that makes Titus a pussy because he's got a big sword. You think he'd be a bit of a macho man, but he isn't.
Before we go any further, I'd just like to point out. Okay, yes, he can learn all this, but the spear grid here.
Can we do the spear grid later? Because that's later down my list.
It's later down the list. Oh, good, fair enough. So I can ignore that for the time being and carry on with bitching.
Okay.
More bitching, right?
Adam, your turn to bitch about Titus.
Titus, or Titus as it's pronounced in Kingdom Hearts 1.
He's...
Well, irritating. He tries to make out that he's the hero of the game. Well, no, he's not the hero of the game. He's just the arsehole that talks to you through the entire freaking game.
He has monologues as well, kind of like Samus does in Metroid M, but that's for in review.
Yeah, when you start off the game, right at the start, you see a scene where they're all standing around a campfire, which is quite late on in the game, and the whole story.
Spoilers.
It's not much of a spoiler. It shows you right as soon as you start the game. It's the introduction sequence.
Whatever.
That is late on in the game, and the game that you play up to that point is basically him reminiscing. So he's the main voice so far, and there are times when he can just be a dickhead, and you just want to grab him and slap him to shut him up. But apart from that, he is one of your strongest characters. As I say, he learns some pretty decent abilities early on, and he's also pretty damn quick.
Okay, next character.
The next character on the list is Wakka.
Wakka! Oh, what do I say about Wakka? Well, Wakka has the stupidest hairstyle I've ever seen. It's this massive quiff thing, like...
It's like some...
I mean... Another thing that's stupid about this guy, he's also a blitzball player. How on earth does his hair stay straight when he's underwater?
Yeah. And also, if you look at his character, he's also got a shoulder pad, which bends outwards away from his shoulder. That must be the most unaerodynamic thing you could possibly have for an underwater sport. And yes, his hair does look like a swan's neck.
Oh yeah, back to fashion sense. Titus, where the hell did you get trousers with one leg shot in the other?
The dungarees. But yeah, see you.
We're
talking about Wakka.
Wakka wears dungarees. Although Wakka's volleyball is a bit weird because it hits the enemy, bounces off him down the back of his hand.
Regardless of distance, aiming angle, or speed, he will just gladly throw it. Hit the enemy, it'll automatically come back, he'll catch it every time.
He's a good character, but he has ridiculous hair, and also, Wakka's a bit stupid because a lot of the time in the story it doesn't click on.
It takes a while to notice.
It takes him ages to click on that Yuna's an Albed. He just sits there thinking, it's basically pointed out to him several times. You have to basically show a blackboard in his face and say, I'm an Albed, you plonker, hello! And
also to say that he's sort of Yuna's childhood friends, so they've known each other for many, many years.
Yes,
What else can I say about him? Oh yeah, apart from the fact that his name is a sound effect from Pac-Man.
Wakka, 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 wakka.
Yes. Well, his main role is to attack aerial enemies, so things like birds and things.
Yeah, he's good for that.
Because each enemy has a specific person you want to use them against. For example, Titus is okay against the four-legged beasts and wolves and shit like that. Wakka's specialty is aerial enemies like birds and things that the other characters would find hard to reach.
Yeah. Right, next character. Riku! Oh, what can I say about Riku? Well, Riku...
I actually think she's cuter than Yuna.
Well, Riku, in this game, I like her a lot more than I do in 10-2, because in 10-2, she's a young girl in a bikini. Need I say more? Anyway...
And why do you like this one better?
Because she has more respect for her body.
No, she doesn't.
She's not as much of a tart.
Yes, she is.
Can I finish?
Second time you see her, she strips off.
Yeah, but she doesn't strip down to her undies. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, good point.
Anyway, basically, the point I'm trying to make here is that Riku, she's an Albed, and the problem with Albeds is they speak gibberish all the time, and not even the captions can help you understand this language.
Yeah, it's a little mini game.
That's all I got to say about Riku. Oh yeah, she can steal from enemies, and she can also dismantle robots.
Yes, her specialty is robotic enemies. Any normal random enemy that's robotic, you get her to steal from it and she'll take it to bits. And we're on 14:25, so do you want to stop it there and move to the next part?
Yep.
Well, I've still got a bit to talk about her, so
we'll pick up later
we'll continue with that in a second.